Welcome back to Mama Magik. I'm your host, Emma. I'm so happy to be back. I'm speaking a little quietly just into my iPhone microphone because it's early morning. The kids are still sleeping. The pets are all asleep. And I was just thinking about my beautiful community and my ability to express myself in my full authenticity and who I've connected with so far in this creator journey of mine, and just sitting in full gratitude as the sun rises, living life like an expression of poetry, really. And of course, I had to include you in on this moment. It's been a minute. So far, the rhythm of my sharing has been whenever the feeling takes me to share, and I love that for myself. And I just have been flowing like water with that kind of momentum. And it's been so exhilarating, literally exhilarating to see growth and to hear back from who's connected with me on my platform. That's this intimate display of human interaction for me, my podcast. And I love starting my episode just giving thanks to you, to me, to all the frequency that we're feeling. Happy new moon in Saggy a few days ago. Ooh, the fire energy is, it's such a good way to end 2024, in my opinion. I'm a Sagittarius. It is such a good way to end 2024 with that burning, transformative flame. The patterns for me over the last few days, just coming into December, has been to rest, to be reflective, to look within. I live in rural Ontario, and we've received a week's worth of consistent snow. School has been closed. Highways have been closed. It's been a forceful rest for about a week, and to just connect as a family and to just hold heart space for each other, to appreciate beauty in its natural, quietest form, but also most dangerous, if you're going to be real. And it's been transformative, to say the least. I was feeling inspired to share about my experience with feminine energy, especially putting that energy towards my business and my lifestyle, coming from such a more masculine approach to life, being a single parent and feeling the need to protect and having to provide. I was feeling inspired to speak about the feminine energy, and a lot of influencers that I admire have been speaking about feminine energy. And I feel like, I know, speaking for me at least, I feel inspired from the negative outcome of the political situation in the States right now regarding women and our freedom of choice. And it inspires me to tap into my feminine rage and use that as the powerful magic that it is. And I think that's the case with these other women that I admire, is that we're feeling more amplified in our feminine voice. And that's alchemy. That's alchemy when you take the contrast of what the 3D world is showing you, of that pure negativity, and you instead rely on what you see in the 5D, what you see internally, what you see in the world that you desire. I heard somewhere that being Delulu is the Salulu, like the solution. And it is the case. When you see in the 3D what you don't want to see, you have to go to the 5D and you have to adjust and come back out into the 3D with that new vision. And I feel like that's what women and men are doing. And I just love that for us, that we are deciding what we want to see and putting that out into the world, knowing that it will be. So I see you. I see you. My soul sees you. And again, just encompassing you with my gratitude. So I was feeling so inspired to speak about feminine energy, about the power of that, how I've been learning that. And this kind of thinking prompted me to ask ChatGPT a question about based off of what they know about me so far, what have I accomplished in this year? What has been the themes for me? And I encourage you, if you need a little bit of encouragement yourself, about how far you have come in a year's time, about the inner work that you've been doing, I want you to just take this as confirmation, first of all, that if what you're seeing in your 3D isn't exactly how you want it, especially this last year, take heart, because there's so much inner work that has gone about this year. Even if you're not on a spiritual vibe, you have been forced to ask yourself at least a dozen times, what the fuck? It is just how the world has been moving. It is causing more of an awakening, which is so amazing that more people are becoming self-reflective and just questioning their existence, questioning why things are the way that they are. And that's how it starts, is with those questions, and the world is taking that direction. And so it's a really important time now more than ever to have clarity, and that clarity only comes from within yourself. It only comes from doing, quote unquote, the work. And when you can have that solid base built within yourself, you become so stable and unshakable that it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You just know it's what isn't serving you to your highest good is just falling away. It's just making room for things that benefit you even more, even if we can't understand it with our human brains at the capacity that we've built them to. One day we will understand it. And that is just the beautiful momentum my life has been taking, learning the balance of the masculine and feminine energy and applying that to my life, and seeing how the inner child's connected to us in this life that we are now, like who we are as adults, the inner teenager, and how we are all one. And in the witchy community, spiritual community, shadow work is talked about a lot, and it can be looked as a scary thing. It's a beautiful, loving integration of everything that you are. And I think that's been one of the deepest healing aspects of my personal journey, is that truth that every single part of you is loved, and that you are capable of loving every single part of you in full capacity, and how you've always desired to be seen, to be felt, to be loved. You have the capability and the special touch to do so. And that's what self-healing is. And I've been realizing how powerful that alone is, and that will change your life. Deepening your self-concept, focusing on positives, focusing on the truths in your life, and loving yourself a little more each day with progression and self-development. And in that beautiful community, it's a thing to do 1% more every day in a better way, more strategic, something that is aligned for you. Consistency is so important. That 1% movement builds up to a beautiful lifetime of these healthy habits and these thinking patterns and things that you cultivated over the years. I like to take that concept and put a little spin on it, and instead of focusing on the doing better, the doing more of your habits that you put in place, these kind of things, I like to focus more on loving yourself more every day, loving yourself a bit deeper every day. And instead of focusing on what is my passion, what is my purpose, why am I here, all these questions about your existence, focus on simply accepting the fact that you are here to experience life in every moment, and to follow what makes you feel safe and loved. What if you came at every area of yourself with love? And in my meditative practice and in my breathing exercises, that's a mantra that I speak to myself. I put love in and I put love out as I'm inhaling and exhaling. And that's changed the game for me, is to just come at life through the lens of love. Self-love. When it goes so deep like that, it is easy to love others regardless of who they are, because you just see them as bones like you that go return to the earth like you. We all are one. And I know that's a big step to say for a lot of people in this world, but when you accept love into your life, love surpasses that kind of understanding. Love surpasses that kind of judgment. Love really is the highest frequency, because it is the foundation of universal law, in my opinion. So when I've been focusing on the love of self, It's been so easy to exuberate love into my life. It's been so beautiful being a healer and being a mother and being able to constantly feel fulfilled, and like my own cup is filled up and never running dry or emptying, because it is first filled with self-love, which overflows, and then I can love other people properly. So it all stems from just loving your soul in its very first essence, and knowing that no parts of you are unlovable, even the parts that you have ignored for so long because they were navigated as being wrong, etc., etc. I hope this is making sense. I love my pod so much, just showing up in intimate voice note form and just sharing my thoughts, and it's so healing for me to hear back from you about where you're at and what landed for you and what resonated for you. I know a big part of my spiritual journey was just the feeling of being alone, the feeling of not having a community or the proper supports, and feeling so frustrated many times because my loved ones were offering me support to their capacity, but it just wasn't what I needed. It didn't support me in a way that I could actually feel supported, and this community has done that for me. And I have been able to do that for myself, and that's what's attracted this community to me. It all has to start within. When you focus on your within, you're without the reflection that you're living and you're experiencing just automatically lines up. Becoming of a vibrational match for what you're manifesting is the only way to attract what you're manifesting, good or bad. So when you have a strong self-concept, when your self-love runs deep, it's moving within your body like water, that is when you become this vibration, because we know that everything is energetic, everything is atoms of energy and can be shifted and can be changed. It can be alchemized any way that we desire. So to get those desires higher, it's the self-love, the self-concept. You need to just reprogram that subconscious energy so that it naturally becomes a frequency for what you're wanting. This is easy and difficult at the same time. What makes it difficult is these little key things that we have to remind ourselves that if we were in that vibration of what we're desiring, say to be a multimillionaire, you're in that vibration of wanting it. If you were a multimillionaire, you wouldn't be wanting it because you're already the vibration of. So to manifest things that we're experiencing in our 3D, we have to first feel it in our 5D, in our being. And to feel is to be on the frequency of. So emotions move like water, they flow, and when they are stagnant in our body, that accumulates an interruption in the frequency of the energy that we're wanting to release from our aura. And when the energy stays stagnant, it's not moving in its natural rhythm, and then it's not attracting you to things that you would just naturally normally attract if you didn't have that stagnant energy. Somatic movement has been so important in my spiritual growth and in my journey, has also helped me to naturally glow up and to naturally look younger. I used to be such a glam girly, always doing my beauty treatments, and for the last 2 years I've been in a mode of self-healing that those things just didn't matter to me at the time. I've been completely natural for 2 years and have radiated such a goddess-like aura that I have people coming up to me speaking about my appearance, and that used to be triggering for me to have compliments from strangers. And I love that my life has been able to take me into a 360 where it's a natural safe space. They're just reflecting love back to me. They're just seeing the goddess within the energy that I've been working on, cultivating in myself. They're seeing that actually shine out of me, and I love that. That the self-work, self-healing is just an instant glow up. I've never felt more attractive in my life. That was a big lesson for me because I put so much prominence on physical appearance and outward treatments and things you had to do to enhance it, when I was missing the biggest ingredient to beauty is your aura. And that was a huge thing for me this year. If you're interested in things like beauty routines or my morning or evening routine, let me know. I love changing my routine according to the seasons. I created an e-book calendar that plans how you should plan your life according to the cosmos. So it has the specific energy of planets around each day of the week and ideas of things that you can do to enhance the energy of the galaxies during your day, just giving your week more flow, more balance. It speaks about the moon cycles, living your life connected to earth energy like that is powerful. And that's another lesson that I learned this year, is how connected we are to the earth, incorporating earth elements into my life as much as possible, and how therapeutic it is to just touch grass and to find the time every single day to spend outdoors in some way, even in this winter season, even if it's just me standing with my front door open, just letting the wind pull my hair back and cool my cheeks. It's about experiencing nature's rhythm as much as possible. And that is the language your soul speaks. And that is something that I'm so happy my life slowed down enough for me to hear nature speak. So going back to when I touched on about self-love, there's a certain level of authenticity that you reach in life when you hit rock bottom. And I am feeling just so grateful for all of the paths that my life has taken, especially over the last few years, because the level of authenticity that I've reached, I am so proud of myself. It's always been an issue in my life up until now, who I am, expressing myself freely. I've had to work through a lot of trauma around self-expression and how positive being authentic is. And something I've learned with manifestation and becoming a very confident manifesting baddie is authenticity with gratitude and positivity are the currency of the manifesting world. When you connect to yourself and when you deepen your intuition and hold sacred intention in your life and live in a thankful headspace and state, that's a really powerful force of energy. You are truly connected to the essence of the universe and creation. And authenticity is what we're here on this earth for, is to express yourself in the most loving, authentic way, creating more abundance of creation. Let me know your thoughts on this. I love to hear feedback from my sharings and my thoughts, because I spend a lot of time in thoughts, and it's nice to run some thoughts past people and receive grounding and receive validation, receive conversation. So I'm open to it. I'll leave my links for my ex and my Instagram in the description of this pod. So authenticity is the currency of manifestation. When you are fully aware of who you are, what you like, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, your boundaries, that is when you start cultivating a life that truly works for you, because you know who you are and you're radiating that out. So you know exactly what you're accepting, what you're not accepting. Now, for somebody who wasn't fully encouraged to be who she was and to find her true self, this has been difficult. And the way that I made it easier on myself is through daydreaming and manifesting and experimenting in my life and just finding out what really worked for me and what didn't, what made me feel good and what didn't, and just going off of that every single time. That's what enhanced my intuition so strongly, is listening to how my body felt in certain situations, around certain people, doing certain things, sometimes even the music I listened to, the way I spoke. I became so self-aware and so in tune to my body's reactions, and that only came from being consistent and showing up for myself in yoga, in meditation, in speaking to myself, in understanding my triggers, and just loving myself and parenting myself and paying attention to myself in ways that I needed to be. That's how I became so grounded and listening to myself, and so in tune to listening to the language of my body as a clear voice. And the more you practice this, the more consistent you show up for yourself, the more progress you're going to have with this, the more obvious your authenticity is going to be, because you can exactly know what works and what doesn't in an instant. Because authenticity is just so ready to connect with you. Once you get on that path, there's no going back. There's no going back. It's your soul's purpose to connect to its own essence. The more you can be authentic, the more that you can play with life, flirt with life, find things that light you up and follow that in your life, the better. And I know it's easier said than done. I've spent almost 2 years just trying to find hobbies and just trying to find things that I love and just doing those on repeat and filling myself up with love for an activity. It's more healing for your inner child than you know. To give yourself the space to just enjoy yourself, to just enjoy doing something that has no benefit other than pleasure. We complicate things so much, and we don't have to. It's as simple as, does this give me pleasure, yes or no? It's as simple as that. And when we take the time to actually enjoy our life, to actually enjoy pleasure, to then be grateful for that, that amplifies more of the energy in our life. And we deserve to live a beautiful, easy life full of good things. The power of somatic movement and body work, EFT tapping, dancing, twerking, yoga. The intention behind the movement has been so good for me in my health journey this year. Looking at yoga as an activation of the spine, as moving energy, snake healing energy, activating the kundalini during my yoga practices, grounding myself in my yoga practices, how spiritual showing up on the mat really is, and putting that mind, body, soul connect into my workouts, into dancing, connecting with ancestral history when you're dancing and energy. It's been profound. Living a tantric lifestyle. If any of these things that I'm shooting off interest you, let me know. I will expand on this. I've been such a fan of tapping. I tap for everything, and it's changed my life. And I love to do it in the mirror, tapping the points, speaking right into my eyes, connecting and grounding your body. And for me, it's been first thing in the morning and just before bed, or during the day when I need to release some energy somehow. Getting into a practice that does that for you. So for me, I know my fallback is always meditation with intent, go into yoga. After the yoga, I do the tapping, and with the tapping, to move the energy around after, I'll do Pilates, and then after the Pilates, I like to write, and then after I write, I like to dance. So it's a bit of a pattern of where I put my attention in, and then I follow it with movements, move the energy around, and it really is that simple. When you come into your movements with intention, the body reacts, and it loves to connect to higher frequency energy. I've never looked better. My workouts have felt so powerful. I feel so in tune to my body. This was a huge thing that I've incorporated this past year that has changed the game for me, and I'm very excited to dive even deeper into my fitness and nutrition and just full glow up journey. If that interests you, let me know, and I'll make more content just around glowing up the goddess within, and just share my journey in that, because I love that kind of stuff. Another thing that I've learned this last year is the sovereignness of rest. And this has amplified my feminine energy a lot, is just giving myself the space to rest when needed. Not just a physical rest like take a nap, but also a mental rest. And I was deciding on sobriety and have since gone back to Mother Herb because of the rest that it gives my mind. And I know that my old narrative would have been to shame myself, think of myself as a failure for incorporating cannabis into my practice again, I would think of all of the negativities it may have on my health and just eat myself up about it. But I'm living an existence of pure pleasure and pure yes. And right now, cannabis offers a quiet space for my mind, for my brain, because I have found that my brain can be difficult to fully rest. And when I was more self-aware and checking into my journey with herb and cannabis, that's what I came to realize, is that it quieted my brain and offered pure rest to my brain that I hadn't achieved otherwise. I was doing some research on YouTube, and there was a lot of other very high-driven, very dedicated entrepreneurial types who swore by smoking cannabis before a workout or on a day where they were just at home relaxing to quiet their brain. And when I heard that term, quiet the brain, I was like, yeah, that's me. And I want to share that because I have a lot of followers who do partake in Mother Herb, and I'm open to having a conversation about that. If you're interested, shoot me a DM. I'm just exploring so many things of life. I'm just exploring what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and taking a look at old habits that I had throughout this year as I come into 2025, and just seeing what worked and what didn't, and what filled me up with life and what didn't. And just coming into 2025 with that full authenticity and that promise to yourself that you're going to live life in pleasure and in what makes you feel good and in a state of thankfulness and presence. Coming from a very works-oriented background and just always having a work ethic of integrity and hard work and the value in back-breaking work, rest was difficult for me over this last year, and my life has forced me to slow down and rest, even just this past week by literally being snowbound. And it's a powerful force. First of all, dream magic. If you're taking physical rests with naps and what have you, dream magic is a whole other podcast episode. Let me know if you're interested in talking more about what is accomplished while you sleep. It is very, very powerful, and in my opinion, one of the most powerful forms of magic and message transmutation. So let me know if you want an episode about that. I would love to yap about the power of your dreams and sleep. So over the last year, I've learned the power of rest, not only with the dream realm and the magic that part holds. It's a way for us to be communicated with and to receive life-changing downloads that come only from our subconscious. It's so powerful. So rest alone has been so hyped as a negative thing, and I believe, and this is the conspiracist side of me coming out, that has been frowned upon because of how powerful it actually is. And to take the time to rest is not only a rebellious form of self-love at this point, considering the culture that we're in, but it's an expression to yourself that you are capable of relaxing in a safe environment for yourself to receive love from yourself. You're giving yourself the space to be completely vulnerable and to just relax in the knowing that peace is within and that is yours. If you can take a nap with that kind of vibration, you're going to wake up in a different timeline. You're going to wake up as a completely new person. It's that magical. Being a woman and living life navigated by the moon accepting that this last year has been the most beautiful love story ever of a woman and the galaxies. It's been amazing just knowing my hormonal cycle. It's important to know the hormonal cycle that women are on, and especially for your loved ones. It gave me so much room to just be myself and to understand what was going on with me or for me, and living life with this awareness of hormonal cycles is just, it's freedom. It's liberating. We, as women, we live in a man's made world, whether we like to admit it or not. This world was made by men for men. And as women, we haven't been fully made aware of, first of all, the power of our feminine intuition. That's a whole other episode. But second of all, we haven't been fully made aware of acceptance of our bodies and what it's telling us, dubbed as crazy or delusional, whatever. The list goes on. Again, it's a beautiful form of rebellion to just be aware and educated about your own body. And learning about your hormonal cycles and how your period cycles work with the moon cycles is so important in my opinion, and I'm happy that I incorporated that. That balanced my hormonal health. It cleared my skin. It helped me with my sleeping patterns. It helped me make plans. Like this last year has just been me trying so many different things in so many different areas, because I'm on this journey of just seeing what works. And that's how I'm going into 2025. I have more to share about what I learned over the last year. This is only about halfway through the list. So let me know if you want me to make a part 2 to this episode. Sharing these truths with you, and what resonates is what resonates. What doesn't, just leave it for the next person, is the kind of energy, right? So I'm going to wrap this up because I think we're up to half an hour, and I just wanted to send so much love to you. I appreciate you for joining me in my thoughts, and most importantly, in this journey that I've been living in my life and putting myself out there by reflecting truths back. I've been called to this kind of lifestyle, and I value my soulmated community so much. So much. You have saved my life. You've gotten me to this point. You have been the living arms that I always needed. And I hope that this pod is a safe space for you to feel that reflected back to you, because you truly are special. You truly are a beautiful soul, and we're all here just doing the best that we know how and loving yourself 1% a little more every day. And that is heaven on earth, in my opinion. So until next time, universal love.